Hey, good morning, guys. Thank you very much for appreciating my last video. So I'm just gonna give a quick review about my last video. It was about the real estate industry. It was about what real estate agents exactly do with the potential leads, with the potential sellers, and how many they close. What is the percentage, right? So it's gonna be a quick review. I'm not gonna talk a lot about last video, right? You can check the last video on my channel on YouTube, right? I'll give you a link so you can easily see it. So let's move on. Just a quick review that last time I explained that there are two sides of the story. The first side is like how we produce leads for the real estate agents, and the other side of the story, what they usually do with those leads. Okay, so out of 100 leads, they hardly close 2, which is terrible. So instead of just wasting our leads, what they can do is they can go and do the door knocking. They can reach the expireds, the homeowners of those expired leads. They can do the door knocking and they can convert them. We're not going to help them out, right? Because if out of 100 new faces they are hardly close 1 or 2, they are doing a terrible job. All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about investors. So usually what's really happening here is there is a race between investors, right, that who are gonna do most of the contracts. Okay, but the sad part is, when it comes to the acquisition, right, they're not doing it by themselves. Okay, that is the sad part. Now here's what is happening, right? Because they are hiring an immature or non-professional, or what should I say? Just the basic freelancers, okay, who have never done this kind of jobs, and even they have done some kind of jobs like these in past, they did a terrible job. Here's what I'm gonna do. So first thing, about this one side of the story, which is like about producing leads, and then the acquisition, and then the transaction and disposition, right? So let's talk about the first side of the story. So usually what happens is like there are callers, right, who are calling randomly in the neighborhood, trying to find out if the sellers are looking to sell their house. First thing, they need to do a better job, right? If the worth of the house is $120,000 and they are asking $600,000 or $1 million, that means that's not a potential lead. Okay, so they really need to work hard on that. The clients who are giving them work, right, they need to do a double check that what exactly they're producing. Now let's move on, right? Once the lead is created or produced by the caller, that goes to the acquisition team. Now most of the time what's really happening is the acquisition, they have this formula by the investors that you need to do, you need to find after repair values, right, ARV, and once you get that, you're gonna give an offer on 70%. Now here's the bad part. First thing, those people who you hire, they're not local, they're not natives, they don't know about the neighborhood. How many of them they know the price of HVAC system in a house of 1200 square feet? Okay, how many of them they know what is the price of the roof of 1500 square feet house? How many of them know that what would be the cost of upgrading kitchen and bath? How many of them know what would be the cost of the carpets in the house of 1200 square feet, right? So that's one of the thing. The other thing is like when the investors are giving them a a written offers, that okay, that's the maximum you can do, right? So let's say you offering a seller 50% of their of the retail price, or let's say 60% after doing repair values. Okay, that's terrible. Okay, just think about this. You telling the seller that we are doing our very best to give you a good offer. So that's not a good offer, that's a terrible offer. Okay, second thing is like the acquisition, the sellers, they are upset, they are stressed out, and after that there are 10 different people calling them and letting them know that okay, you're gonna be getting a great offer, and when it's time for the acquisition to ask questions, they're not comfortable giving answers. All right, so think about this. You know that you are going to offer 60%, and the seller is asking you that get on a point, let us know what are the offer you have, and you're still asking them questions, right? That is the reason they're just letting you go. That is the reason they're hanging up on your faces. That is the reason they're abusing you, right? So why don't you get on a point? Just think about this. They want a number, give them a number. The caller already asked the basic questions. No matter what kind of modification or upgradations they have made in the house, you're still gonna offer them 60 to 70%. So why don't you give them a straight offer, a straight figure, that okay, instead of paying 100,000, I'll pay you 70,000. That's gonna make their life easy, and that's gonna make your job easy. After that, you can have a discussion. People who are not giving you any information about the house, give them a very low ball offer. Let's say if the house worth 100,000, give them 40,000. They're gonna cry on that, right? Then you can let them know that is why I'm asking you what is the condition of the house. Okay, so other thing is like usually the real estate investors, they have a margin of $5,000 to $10,000. They're not fixing it up. They just want the house under a contract, and they wanted to resell it to another investors. That's what is going to be happening. That is what really happens, right? So why don't you do this, right? Why don't you do is give them a straight offer and get them under a contract. That's easy. I have done this on Friday. I spoke to the person, I gave them a straight offer, right? And I got that person under a contract the same day. Now here's the hard part. Getting them under the contract, that's easy. The challenging part is you help them sell the house in the time you have given to the seller, which means the dispositions, right? You're talking to the title company, you're speaking with the buyer, you're speaking with the seller, you're working on the price, you're negotiating on the price, and you have completed this transaction. So that is the challenging part. So I can tell you right now, I already spoken to quite a few people, right? I think 3 or 4 of them. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get them under a contract this week. All right, because I've been blunt to them. It's a very straightforward offer, right? That's what I can pay you, and there is a reason why I'm offering you this much. Okay, I called very old leads, 1-year-old leads. Some of them, the last time it was called like 9 months ago, right? And they are still out there. The reason is nobody wants to buy it. So you tell them straight, this is the reason. You've been trying to sell this house from last 9 months, 10 months, nobody's buying it. I'm here to buy this. This is my offer. This I can do for you right now. Okay, and we can sell this property in coming 2 to 3 weeks time. All right, so I don't want to make a very long video, right? So I'm gonna cut it right here, right? If you're gonna like this, and if you want to know more about it, how I do my transactions, how I get these sellers, these properties under the contract and the disposition, I can let you know in the coming video. Thank you very much for appreciating my work. This is just, I'm doing it for educating people who are into this industry and they are just struggling. Thanks a lot.